I'm prepared to wake you guys up this morning.
You better wake us up. I am so excited to have
That's
you
cool.
on
Thank
this
you.
call. I just I want to give a shout out. Muriel's on the call, and I had put on my vision board last year. Sarah, I did that vision board when I was with your group in Kentucky. And I said that I really wanted to become an international trainer. Now, I know I have people on here from Canada, and I guess I train and coach internationally, technically through this. But I am so excited that after this, I am actually, well, Miriam, what am I doing? Are you on, do you have your mute off? Where is she?
I can talk, but I'm
all right. You don't have to look. So you're in Saskatchewan?
I'm kind of in the middle of Canada. It was minus 47 degrees. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but it was cold this week. But anyway, through random things, a week ago, I ended up, and another agent had contacted me about vision boards. And I said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I actually had, and 2 days later, somehow I ended up on this call right now. And Peggy mentioned the word vision board. And long story short, we have 30 agents attending an in-person vision board workshop with Peggy in the middle of Canada today.
I love it.
2.5 hours. It's incredible.
So it came true, guys. I am officially training outside of XP today at the board of, is it the Board of Realtors? Do you guys call it that?
Yeah, the Association of Regina Realtors. That's right. You are definitely outside of EXP. Most of the agents attending, even the one that approached me about this, is not with EXP. So you know what? 2 out of 30 are with EXP. Wow.
Good for you.
So, good for you, Peggy. Incredible manifestation.
Well, I'm excited to do this for you, but this isn't about that. This is about having one of the most powerhouse go-getter. Man, he and Brent Gove, I don't know, they're neck and neck on energy and everything else. So I am so excited to say that Randy Byrd is in the house today. I get to call him a friend. I get to hang out with him. And Randy, I'm just going to let you go. So
thank you, Peggy. I appreciate you. And yes, that's the beautiful thing about this company is there's so many friend relationships that come from it. And we all talk about that. I love being, in this circle and I feel like I'm family and stuff. But when you really see it, when you really feel it, when it really happens to you, it is different. And it's something that's really hard to put your finger on. But Peggy, thanks for having me. And I'm honored to be here. When she asked me, I was like, did you say 9 a.m. Eastern? Is that 6 a.m. Pacific where I'm at? I might as well be in Hawaii. It might as well be at midnight. But actually, I'm an early guy. I'm usually up prior to 5 o'clock every day. And I have a routine. And that routine has served me, right? And I guess, what's interesting is many times when we come on these calls, it's all about us. It's all about what have we done? What have we accomplished? What have our goals look like and stuff? But for me, I want to impact you. I really want you to be the hero in this story and this journey, if you think of it that way today, and me just as a guide. And, that comes straight out of the book, Building the Story Brand. And why that's so important for me is because it is about the journey of the hero, whether it's the client, whether it's a partner in your organization, whether it's somebody that you're mentoring and they're looking up to you, whatever it is, it's about you guiding them in the direction that is the most safest. And sometimes it's not the fastest, but it's the best for them. And so, when I spoke in Puerto Rico just about a month ago to the Brent Center Circle, and I'm speaking to some top performers, some people in the room were doing $1 billion in production. Others had hundreds and hundreds of transactions. And what do you get up and talk to that crew about, right? Do you get up and go, yeah, more listings are powerful, or hey, a TC is really going to help your business, or whatever it may be, right? I've been coaching for over a decade. And without exception, whenever I do a needs analysis with somebody, the first thing I go, okay, like Sarah, for instance. Sarah, we're going to coach together. It's really nice meeting you. Thank you for the trust. I'm looking forward to the next year together. So Sarah, share your screen. Show me your calendar, right? And they'll go, my calendar is not really and I'm just show me the calendar, right? So I look at the calendar and I could look at their life. I could look at their business. I could look at their disciplines all through their calendar. And so when I say that to people, it's not to look down on them. It's about saying, hey, I understand the journey that I've been on and what's allowed me to create multiple companies, and all these things are really being very directly positioned with your time. And if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. You've heard that, right? We
Right.
are shiny object beings. We will find things to do. And when we talk about real estate specifically, and I'm going to talk about some like top 5 things, I'm going to give you guys some tactical things today of what I've brought together and consummated over, 22 years in the business and 10 years as coaching. And when I look at real estate specifically, the thing I love about it is it's very leverageable. You could literally create a 7-figure income and show up like a CEO boss, just walking in every week and meeting an hour and a half with your team and have them run. And you could do 1,000 transactions a year in that model. Right. So that's the benefits. And then the downside of it is it's very cyclical. It's like, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad. Right. And our business looks like this too. It's like, and I'm gonna show you what the typical agent's business looks like when they come to me, so then we can kind of flatline that out. When you look at your real estate business, and I have it behind me on the board, and I'll show you in a minute. But when you look at the real estate business, there's a line. Like as I'm looking at my Zoom, there's 3 people on the top and 3 people on the bottom. On my cell phone, so yours might be a little different. But if I look at it like that, Peggy's on the above the line, Sarah's below the line. In real estate, we draw a line in our business, and everything above the line is our responsibility. Everything above the line is a dollar producing activity, is a functioning high level part of being a licensed negotiator, right? So it's servicing buyers and sellers and negotiating contracts and all the things above the line. Everything below the line is staff, it's support, right? Support is probably the better word. You've got to get out of the support business and leverage yourself into the top of the line business, or you won't scale. You'll be caught up into this realm of where you're just handling everything. It's like, I'm super proud of my business. You don't understand. My business is different. I love my business because I take them from showing the house to writing the contracts to walking them through the lender to walking them through title to spending 2 hours at title with them to let the title rep talk about stuff you don't understand. But that's just how I do my business. I said, well, your business is very limited. You're in a limited envelope of growth. There's just no way for you to grow bigger than that. Now, I've met one agent that's doing 70 deals a year in that model, and it's impressive. 70 deals a year, 700,000 in transactional GCI. But I'm glad she's not on the call today, because when I started coaching with her, she goes, I want to go to 100. I heard you're the best. I want to go to 100. And I said, after we did the needs assessment, needs analysis, I said, I'm not your coach. I can get you there, but I'm going to break you. I mean, you are out of integrity with most parts of your real estate life. And she was like taken back, and you could tell she was ready to fire me. And I said, I'm happy to explain. And I said, your marriage, you're sleeping on the couch and he's in the back room. Your kids are out of school because you can't keep the school schedule and you're homeschooling, but that's, in your words, not going very well. All these things are good. All these things are like out of alignment. The only thing that's really aligned is the fact of your Facebook posts of your business, right? New listing, new closing, new listing, new closing. That's awesome. Happy sellers, happy buyers on Facebook. That's all great. But behind the scenes, everything is in chaos. That is not sustainable. And I said, let's dream for a minute. And she goes, well, I'd like to, I'd like to have a house in Florida. She's obviously not in Florida. She's somewhere cold. She goes, I'd like to have a house in Florida so we can go down there when it's cold and, and have a second home and have a travel place. I'd like to have my marriage back together. I'd like to have my life, more disciplined. I'd like to have some of these things. And over the next couple of years, we accomplished all that. She got a house in Florida. She goes down there all the time now. I think every 6 weeks they go there for a week and goes to Disney World where the kids are little and all these things. She also got a house in where Jean's at in Colorado, Breckenridge. She got a house in Breckenridge, so she loves going up there. the marriage is back together, the house is back in order, right? The kids are homeschooled, but they're on a disciplined routine with support and help in the areas that she wants to leverage out, not being a mom. I tell you all this because as I go through this stuff, it's not going to make sense to you if you don't understand that it's just not all about units and production and money. It's about balance. It's about integrity to yourself. And not everybody's the same. So everybody's a little different. It depends on age, depends on maybe lifestyle, depends where you're at in your life. So I'm going to give you what I look at as 7-figure habits, right? Doesn't matter where you are in life right now. We want to build a 7-figure habit to support you being able to create that 7-figure life. You're all deserving of it. There's plenty of abundance for all. It's just a matter of a decision that you make if you're going to do it or not. And again, it's easy to come from the front of the room, whether it's on Zoom or on stage, and talk about possibility and motivate you, but motivation's not going to last, right? Motivation's not going to last past your next Zoom. You're going to forget about everything I said that was motivating. I want to give you some tools and some my belief, the fundamental tactics, kind of like the non-negotiables in the business that will lead you to success, in my humble opinion, right? So number one, and you're welcome to write these down, just highlight them and I'll try to expand on it. But number one is play offense in your real estate business. So write down play offense number one. And what that is we want to play into the things we can control. There's a lot of things we can control. We control effort, attitude, dials, engagement, right? We can control some of those things. We can control, as an explanation, how many dials we make in a day. We can't control how many people answer the phone or how many people make an appointment with us. We can be purposeful about making more appointments through better language and skill sets and objection handling. But you understand there's math that we could play out and there's math that we can't control. So when I say play offense, I want you to think of it from the things you can control. Actually control, absolutely control your effort, control your calendar, control your disciplines, your attitude in doing so, right? It's your choose to smile or frown. It's your choose to have fun doing it or dread it. And listen, I still dread shit every day. I still dread things, but I know the importance of them. So I sit down, I put my big boots on, and I get done. And sometimes, even today, I have to make accountability with somebody to get to doing the things I hate to do. Right? I've told my assistant several times at 9 a.m., I need you on the Zoom and I need you looking at me to tell me that I'm doing this. She's like, okay, why can't you just do it? And I said, I'm just telling you, I know me. I will find a way to find something else to do. But if you're looking at me and I get started, once I get started, I'm okay. Now, this was years ago, and I still have to pull that tactic in sometimes because it's in my toolbox now, right? In agent attraction, I run one of the larger agent attraction coaching programs in the company. And one of the things I did is I realized on the days that I'm coaching, the days that I'm looking at 25 to 40 people looking at me to do the agent attraction and calling agents live like I do, are the days that I excel. I mean, this is my sheet from yesterday. This is how many contacts and dials I had yesterday. I have extreme accountability. I had 19 dials. I think that looks like 6 contacts, and I set 3 appointments. That's a 50% contact to appointment ratio in an EXP conversation. Those are great numbers. But it took me 19 dials to get there. Most people will make those couple dials and then go, man, this is not for me. Right? But if you give me a month, if you give me 3 months, I will change your world. Right? But I digress. So number one, play offense. Play into what you can control. These are measurables and in your control. Anything worthwhile takes time and requires sacrifice, right? It's just a little blurb to put in there. Okay, number two, financial defense, right? So we have play offense, now we're playing financial defense. We want to make sure that the front door, which is the leads and the incoming parts of our business, is big, wide, and inviting, but we don't want the back door open, which means our expenses and how we run our business, right? We've got to be looking at that. So financial defense is checking your P&Ls for waste, especially in lean markets like we've had the last 2-3 years. Dig in, maybe shut off credit cards that are on auto pay, whatever you need to do to get really clear on what's going out, because agents are notorious for having $29 and $4.99 and $7.99 and $109. And then you look at that and you're like, yeah, but that website sounded really good. Signed up for a year and I've never logged into it. Okay, well, that's $1,200 a year. Check, right? So when we take and look at all this stuff from that perspective, it's really, really powerful. And then another layer of this is look at it like your competitor is going to buy your business. So let's just take Kevin Goodman, which I don't think that's Kevin Goodman, but look, Kevin Goodman, right? Hey, how you doing, Kevin? Keep driving, don't look. So if we go, hey, Kevin, and Kevin's beautiful wife, I assume. If I say, hey, Kevin, I'm interested in buying your real estate business. Can you send me over all your financials? What does it look like? Could you even provide that? Right? Or is it just like, well, I did 11.8 million last year and that was 273 GCI. That's usually all we know, and that's what hits Facebook. Right? But where are you operating at 30%, 43%, 8%? Where are you operating? How much profit's coming out of that? Because scale is harmful when you're scaling the wrong thing. Right? If you're doing 100,000 GCI and losing 5,000 a year, if you scale it to 250,000, mathematically, you're going to lose more money. Right? It doesn't get better necessarily with scale. So really know your numbers and take ownership of this. It's, again, a very leverageable item. I have a CPA that does my annual and quarterlies, right? I have bookkeepers that oversee everything I do on a monthly basis. Then I have a VA in Philippines that is $4 an hour and just begged for a raise. We've moved him up to $5 an hour. He's been with me 3 years, and that's going a good rate over there. He does my finances every single day. We scan every receipt to him. It took years to build a relationship like that. But think about this. You could scale everything, right? I have my bookkeeping, my finances, my banking information in the Philippines, but there's ways to protect against that over time, right? So don't just send your checking account to Philippines. Not what I'm saying. I'm saying you could leverage out what you're doing. Like this particular guy that I talked to, his name's Jason. I love him. I've referred him to a couple people now from a bookkeeping standpoint, but we're full time with him, so it's hard to keep leveraging him. But I said, hey, Jason, I like you. I want to work with you. And I said, well, let me back up. Let me tell you how I met Jason. So this adds a layer of challenge to it. I met Jason because my bookkeeper in the US was getting hard to get a hold of. And so we ended up parting ways, and I shut off all his access to QuickBooks. And about 2 weeks later, maybe 10 days later, I get a call from this Jason guy going, hey, Randy, do you know why I've lost access to QuickBooks? And I'm sitting, where are you? And he goes, I'm in the Philippines. And I literally pooped myself. I was like, holy moly, I've been hacked. I've been attacked. The Russians are taking over my accounts. It was bad, right? I was like, this is really, really bad. And I found out that my US creative bookkeeper was farming out everything to Philippines, paying $3 an hour, charging me $40 an hour. Entrepreneur brilliance, but not what I approved, not what I accepted, fired him immediately, locked him out of everything. So I had a Jason call, really exploratory, saying, what do you know? What do you have access to? Who the hell are you? And I loved this kid. I loved this kid. This is like 6 years ago. And so we start talking. I said, hey, Jason, if you want to continue what we're doing, I'm going to need some things from you because I don't know you. There's no trust here whatsoever. And he worked for a bank in the Philippines. I go, I want your driver's license. I want your wife's driver's license. I want a copy of your rental agreement or mortgage. I want a copy of your pay stub. I want a copy of your passport. And he goes, no problem. I'll get all that to you. And he literally sent me all this stuff. And I was like, okay, my trust level increased a little bit. I'm down a wormhole, but this is a really, really important story for how you're running your business. And I'm like, I was reckless by letting somebody assume that they knew what they were doing and not checking into them, right? You get what you inspect in your real estate business. This is why I'm telling this story in finances. Now, I don't think I could run my business without this guy. He is that good. He talks to my wife every single day. We have weekly meetings with him, with my wife, I, and my director of operations to go over numbers. He's changed our financial lives because now we're on top of it, right? So don't take number 2 lightly. Make sure you understand what's in your business and going on, but look at it from a competitor's perspective. This is where my story was, Kevin. If I bought your business as a competitor, I'm at Century 21, you're at EXP Coldwell Banker, wherever you are, and I'm going to look at your business from a perspective of a competitor buying you. Are you proud of it? Are you like, oh crap, you know, grandma's stopping by without notice, what's going on, right? So Look at your business from that perspective. Number 3, and it kind of goes with this, but business is just math. It's like, show me your numbers and I'll tell you your story. I'm gonna say that one more time. Show me your numbers and I will tell you your story, because you're going to tell me a story about your numbers to try and validate or explain, but you don't understand my real estate business is different than the other 3 million real estate agents. But you don't understand, I'm just a little different, right? So show me the numbers and I'll tell you your story. This is really, really important because what you measure matters. Now, I'm a prospecting guy. I'm a believer of you have to have focused prospecting in your business. So to me, when I talk about math, it's not, am I spending $29.99 on Apple Music? I'm like, what are we looking at in our KPIs, our key performance indicators in the business that are moving the needle up or down? Right? Are we doing lead generation? What's our acquisition cost per customer or per lead? Those are the pieces of the business that is mathematical. There's other math that we could lay into it. How many phone calls you make equals how many, well, let's talk about context. How many contacts you make in real estate that equals a closed transaction? There's actually math to that. Through Tom Ferry and through these organizations with 5, 6, 7,000 coaching clients, we've come up with math. And so like in my operation, our math was about 34 contacts per closed transaction. Right? So that means, okay, if somebody wants to do 100 transactions, you times that times 100, this is the math, divided by 12, all of a sudden it's not so crazy, right? But what about if somebody wanted to do 100 closed transactions and knew it took 34 conversations about real estate? That means 33 rejections to get that one closing. Would that feel good? No, but in every MLS, there's 100 expireds a week, right? So just pick your poison. I'm not saying that expireds are the number one way. Matter of the fact, they're not to me. There's a lot of ways now with technology and stuff to create incoming funnel lead opportunities easier than calling expireds. But when we look at this math, now if you say, okay, Randy, I get it. I do 20 transactions a year. I want to do 100 next year for round math, right? I'm like, all right, you have to have 3,400 conversations. He's like, holy crap, what are you talking about? That is not even, there's nobody that could do that. I'm like, well, that's what it's going to take to go from 0 to that. If you're doing 60 transactions, going to 100, it's a different number. But let's be real for a minute. 3,400 conversations you have to have in the 12 months to close 100 transactions mathematically, right? And that's not calling your cousin and adding it as a number. I'm saying calling a homeowner and having a buyer seller conversation and trying to move them into your funnel. So 3,400, let's just do the math backwards for a minute. That's a lot. Divide by 12, that's 283 conversations a month. That's still a lot. That still sounds like a lot. I made 6 yesterday, and I'm pretty good, right? I'm calling for traction. I'm calling for business opportunities and partnerships, but those are my numbers. So 283 a month is significant. Divide that by 4, that's 70 per week. It still sounds like a pretty big number to contact 70 per week, but I had 6 yesterday. So that's still, I have to do double what I did yesterday, right? I did that in about 2 hours. So divide that by 5. So that's about 14 a day. It starts getting a little more equitable, a little more possible, right? And this is 100 transactions a year. So now let's back that up. Let's say I want to do 20 transactions a year just for fun, right? So 34 times 20, that's 680 conversations per year. That's still, it's a big number when you think of it like that. Divide by 12, it's 56 conversations a month, okay? Divide that by 4, that's 14 conversations per week. Divide that by 5, now it's 2.8 conversations per day to do 20 transactions from 0 mathematically, or to go from 10 to 30 transactions in your business. 2.8 conversations a day. Huh. All right, who in here would like to increase by 20 transactions next year and make icon or whatever it may be? What if just this call you took one thing away and just said, I just have to talk to 2.8 people a day. I don't know how I'm going to split that 0.8 person down the middle, but I got to talk to 2.8 people a day mathematically. All of a sudden, that becomes a very achievable opportunity for you. But now the hard part, you've got to make a discipline around your calendar and a backup plan for accountability. Maybe it's with Peggy, maybe it's with somebody else, right? But you'll find all kinds of reasons to get this thing to be a problem, to get in the way of not doing it. But it could be that simple. That is when I talk about business as math. That's like tap you in the forehead, bink, bink, bink. This is what I'm talking about. It can be that easy. It can be mathematical certainty that you'll reach certain milestones. All right. Number 4, and Peggy, how much time do we have? 15 minutes, maybe, roughly.
You have a half hour.
Okay, another half hour.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so you might see my pajama bottoms because I'm going to get up and show you my whiteboard. I got my pajama bottoms on. So if you want to get off the call now, I understand. Leave.
Thank God
it's
you have
totally fine.
We're just happy. that you have-
I think I could keep it newscaster above the collar. I think I could do that. So number 4, IPA, and I wish I was talking about beer here. IPA. I wish I was talking about a big frothy dark beer, but I'm not. I'm talking about the dirty stuff, the income producing activity. It's not the dirty stuff. That's the part that sets you free. Income producing activity. This is strictly meeting with buyers, meeting with sellers and showing homes. So servicing sellers, that could be a listing presentation in the house, listing presentation in the office, could be a virtual CMA through a Zoom. That's servicing a seller. It could be meeting about price reductions and different strategies. That's meeting and servicing a seller. And then servicing buyers, that's showings, that's buyer consultations in the offices, all the things, right? That's a dollar producing activity. And then negotiating contracts. I mean, that's really what we're talking about when we talk about servicing buyers and sellers, right? So even though those two things, they kind of lump into one, and the other component of is prospecting. It's just that is your best use. And I'm going to tell you another story. This came over time. This came over probably about a year or two. Number 3 was business is just math, right? So know your numbers in the math of your business. How many calls you need to make a day to get to a transaction, all the things. Okay. When we talk about income producing activity, what's important about this is your really your one highest and best use. You have to be the one that is leading the charge in your prospecting activities. Yes, the leader of the pack determines the rate of the leader determines the rate of the pack. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you and your business understanding that this is probably one of the most critical components. And here's the story that happened over probably about a year of coaching with Tom Ferry. I had built a large team at Remax, and so they kind of coined me as a good team building coach. So every time somebody raised their hand and saying, "Hey, I want to build a team," I was one of the coaches that kind of got that inquiry and interviewed that agent, right? So, excuse me. So as I'm doing needs assessment with all these clients and talking about how they're going to build a team and trying to establish ground rules, where they are and where we're going, right? I'd say this is what their business looks like. I'd talk to agents that are doing 6 deals, 9 deals, maybe even as high as like 18 transactions, right? They're single agents. They're looking for that next step. By the way, it could happen at 4 transactions. It could happen at 18. And I'd talk to them and, my story of how I coach. Hey, nice meeting you. Let's get to know you a little bit. Show me your calendar. And so they'd open their calendar and it's just blank white, nails, pick up Susie, pick up dry cleaning, drop off taxes, whatever it was on their calendar that were important for them. And then there was a listing and a showing, depending on their production. But I said, "Where's your prospecting?" They go, "Oh, well, you don't understand. Again, my business is a little different, right? I work on mostly referrals." I go, "Awesome. How many transactions are you doing?" "Well, I'm doing 11. "Okay, awesome. That's less than 1 a month. So where else is your business coming from?" "Well, no, that's what I need you for. I need you to help me grow my business of doing that stuff, making more of that." I go, "Well, there's a threshold of how many referrals you could squeeze out of a database, right? Most agents have typically 200 to 300 in their database that they call a database. I think it should be thousands, right? Become the digital mayor." But getting back to this, when I talk to these agents doing 6, 8, 12 transactions, they always are missing the key indicator of their business, which is prospecting. And then I meet with an agent that's doing 300 transactions, 500 transactions. I coached 2 clients to go over 1,000 transactions, one in Calgary, Canada. Thank you, Canada. And then one in Utah, Salt Lake. And when I talked to these high performing individuals that had even sometimes significant teams that wanted to get big, right? One team went from, I think, 11 to 100 on their team. I look at their calendar and guess what's on there 5 days a week? Time blocked prospecting. 2 hours, 3 hours is pretty average when you get into a high producer. Anybody doing over 2, 3, 400 transactions a year, there's going to be a leader on that team that's doing at least 2 hours a day of outgoing prospecting for new clients, not servicing buyers and sellers. New clients, that's prospecting, right? It's kind of like that practice. This is prospecting, right? It's super, super important. And it's the thing that realtors do not like to do, let's be honest. It's not the fun thing to do. But you can gamify this into a thing that makes it fun. And I'm going to, I can help you with some tools with that. But when you look at income producing activity, it's 3 sections. It's the prospecting that I believe has to be a minimum of 2 hours in your day. Unless you're scaling out of it or getting out of real estate, you've got to have 2 hours a day of outgoing prospecting. That doesn't mean calling expires and getting hung up on all day. It could be calling your best people and saying, hey, Peggy, I know we talked we talked in December, but it's January 2025. I got big goals. What real estate things can I help you with today? Are you looking to buy, sell, invest, or rent in the next 3 to 6 months where I can help you? And write that down, by the way. Buy, sell, invest, or rent in real estate in the next 3 to 6 months. That script alone will kind of encompass pretty much everybody, right? I'm not just saying, hey, you're thinking about selling. They say, no, we're done with our conversation. I'm like, no, Peggy, are people that are looking to buy, sell, invest, or rent. Do you know anybody that's in those categories? Because that leads to other conversations. And if she says no, she goes, okay, no problem. I'm going to stay in touch with you all the time. We're friends, Peggy. But every once in a while, do you mind if I just bring up business? If I just say, hey, can you just jog your memory a little bit and ask you if you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, invest, or rent in real estate? Okay, this is prospecting, by the way. This could be your own database, but you also want to be adding 3 to 5 people to your database a day, every day that you're in this prospecting mode, right? Because if you do that 3 a day, that's 15 a week, that's 60 a month, that's 720 new contacts in your database every year. 22 years in the business, my database, a lot of it's been imported and stuff, but it's in the tens of thousands. I have 31,000 contacts in my database as we speak. And I'm not in production anymore, by the way. So mine is agent centric. Mine is business partner focused. Right? But the math and the activity is the same. By the way, every single day on my calendar, guess what's on my calendar? Different. I'm not calling buyers and sellers anymore. But I can show you my calendar right now. 4 days a week is my schedule. Right? 4 days a week. I take Fridays off. I've earned it. I turned 60 in August. I take
Hey,
one
Mike,
day
can
a
I
week
call you
off.
back and
Reading, you're off mute. Reading.
Sucker.
It's all good. It's all good. Reading. Do you want me to call you back? Just teasing him. It says
I
reading
love you
overstreet.
too.
Love you too,
Okay.
baby.
Please put your thing on mute. We can hear your
I will. Sorry.
It's all good. No, we're messing with you. So when we look at this, it sounds a little mundane, but if you could preserve your calendar and gamify it, get to where you're having fun with it, get a group of people to do these calls with you, whatever you need to do is going to be valuable for you as you grow. And as you're transitioning, if you're transitioning to doing something else, you can incorporate those things into that time frame. All right. So top of the line prospecting, top of the line servicing buyers and sellers, above and top of the line is negotiating for your buyers and sellers, right? Whether it's repair inspections or price negotiations or price reductions, whatever it is, that's your job as an agent above that. All right. Below the line is servicing. It's all the things. I'm going to walk you through it in a second, but all the things are servicing, right? Lenders, escrow, title, home inspections, all that stuff. It's very leverageable. And if you have the right language, Gene Frederick's the best at this. This is Gene Frederick's style. He's the one that taught me this, right? And then I put my coach influence on it. Super powerful. So number 5 is business intelligence. Business intelligence. And by the way, again, this is like 10 years of boiled down what I think are the top 5 things that we need to focus on our business. Because if I give you 50, you're not going to do them, right? 5's very manageable. Do one at a time. Pick the one that you can like get into the most. It might, for me, it'd be the calendar. If you just said, hey, I listen to Randy, I'm tired of being tired. I'm done. I'm doing this. I'm going to put 1 hour a day on my calendar for 4 days a week or 5 days a week. I'd suggest at least 3 days that you do it and stay in that activity. Don't break it up. I'm going to do 15 minutes at 10 and 15 minutes at 11:30. Stay in the activity, shut off everything, get into it, and stay in it. But if you did that one thing today, just add an hour into your calendar, 3, 4, 5 days a week, and then knock that out of the park for a month, then you can start moving it up from there. You might have to start at 15 minutes or 30 minutes if your life's chaos, and it's very likely it is, and it's okay. Right? But business intelligence, what I mean by this is what's going on in the market. Right? If you met somebody at Safeway and they said, hey, Ron, curious, how's the market? Go ahead and take your stuff off mute, Ron, and let me know. Hey, Ron, good to see you, man. How's I know you're a real estate agent. How's the real estate market?
The market's coming back. I think it's really good right now. It's a lot of positive things with the election coming up, and I think caught me off guard there, Andy.
I meant to, Ron, but I'm not singling you out, man. I thank you for being honorable and doing it. Okay. This is 99% of the response, though. That's what's good about this. This is a real response. You really care about the market. You're really enthusiastic about the market, but I don't know how to convey that necessarily, right? I'm going to teach you a secret, a trick, a tool that I've used, and it's to me, it's like the difference maker, right? So why don't we turn it around? You ask me the same question, Ron, and put me on the spot. Make it hard for me, right? I'm just kidding. This script's not hard. But let's just say I'm in the supermarket. I'm a realtor. You're a buyer, seller, or something, and you ask me about the market. Watch the difference.
Hey, Randy, how are you doing?
Doing great, man.
I understand you're in the real estate business. How's the market going right now?
Oh, thank you for asking. Very optimistic about the market. Real quick question, Ron. Are you a buyer, seller, investor, or renter? Because the market's different for all of those.
I'm thinking of maybe selling and buying, like to, maybe stay close in the community.
Okay, do you need to sell first to buy?
Yeah.
So let's
definitely.
talk to you from a seller's perspective then.
Okay.
Okay. The market's actually very, very good for you as a seller. There's low inventory, which is keeping the prices up. It's keeping your house a little easier to see. You're not getting 10 listings with the same white picket fence and the same front door that's red, right? So we can really put some unique properties in front of a lot of potential buyers. The buyers are not in a feeding frenzy yet, again, like they were during COVID, where you're getting 12 and 13 offers. But we are starting to see multiple offers because of this low inventory. The challenge for you is the rates remain high. We expect those to come down over time, but right now that is a little bit of a buyer pushback sentiment is the rates. All right, so pause. I talk specifically to his need. Let's say he was a buyer and I didn't ask that question and I went down a seller's road. If he's a buyer and I go, oh, such a great market, there's no inventory out there. It's freaking feeding frenzy when it comes to writing offers. We got 7 offers on the last property. This market is amazing. I closed 11 transactions last month, all sellers. What are you looking to do, Ron? I'm looking to buy. Ooh, my bad. Let me back up. So the good thing about buyers is, you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it does 2 things. Number 1, when I say, hey, Ron, it really depends. Are you a buyer, seller, renter, and investor? It allows me to pause and think about how I want to react and counteract and have this conversation. I'm taking control of the conversation as well.
Gotcha.
And then when they say, I'm a renter, you're not going to be talking about the housing market in that sense. You're going to be talking about availability, first-time home buyer opportunities and loan packages. You're going to be talking about qualifications with a lender and the importance of that. If they're an investor, you better not say those things, right? If you're an investor, hey, I love it, man. How would you rate yourself as a seasoned investor? Like, do you own 1 extra investment home, 5, more than 10? Where are you? We just bought our first investment home last month. It's a mobile home on a half an acre, and we have a couple goats on it. Awesome. I'm going to speak to that investor level. They go, yeah, we own 40 or 50 properties. Most of them are multifamily. I'm not going to talk about a goat farm, right? I'm making a joke because my buddy just listed a goat farm called Goatlandia yesterday, and I was giving him a bad time. I was like, how you doing? Bah! um, but we can make this fun. We can make it fun in public. We can make it fun when we're doing it on the phone. We can make it fun all the time. I think one of the highest opportunities are unsolicited CMAs right now. And I say unsolicited because they didn't ask for it. I'm calling them. Right? So I'll give you a little frame of what this looks like if you want to do it. Take a subdivision you're familiar with. This is recorded, right, Peggy?
Yeah. Yes.
Take a subdivision you're familiar with. Let's just call it Silver Oak, right? It's a great wine in Napa. Silver Oak subdivision. It's got about 1,000 homes in it, right? Take that subdivision and know everything there is about that subdivision that you can research. How many sales it's had, how many current listings it has, the school district, some things you could learn about that. So you become remember that business intelligence in that particular area. And then do a CMA on a house that just listed or just sold is probably even better. It's a little cleaner if you do it just sold. Do a full CMA on that just sold so you could kind of validate it and understand, because the CMA is going to pull other sales and other things that are going around it that influence that CMA. We all know how to do CMAs, right? Now get a list of title of those 500 to 1,000 homeowners, get their names and phone numbers. About 8 cents a piece is what it costs you to get their phone number. You can get their address and their name and maybe even an email. But if you pay title, usually it's about 8 cents, you'll get a list, right? So 1,000 costs you $80, right? So you get that list and you start calling them. And who'd like to do a role play with me real quick?
Dee Dee, you're always good.
I'll try.
Okay, cool. I can't
I'll
see
be
you
the
on your.
homeowner.
I can't. Yes, you're gonna be the homeowner.
Okay.
I can't see you, but it's okay. All right. So I'm gonna
Oh.
do two. I'm gonna do two scripts on purpose. I'm gonna do two. Let me put my. Let me put this one on speaker view. So I got my.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can. Randy's had some technical difficulties.
I'm on my cell phone, so I see just like 6 people here, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Who am I talking to?
Dee Dee.
Dee Dee.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
I see
wave.
you now, Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee.
Hi.
Beautiful glasses. Okay,
Thank
so I
you.
want you to be a homeowner.
Okay.
I want you to be in the typical mindset for the first homeowner script that you didn't expect to call. You're tired of getting solicitation calls. Here's another agent calling you, whatever it is, right? That's kind of typical of what we can expect if we do a cold call to a household, right?
Okay.
Okay. So ring, ring. Hey, good morning. Is this Dee Dee Luzroka?
It is. Who's calling?
This is Randy Byrd over at ABC Realty Company. And how are you doing today?
I'm okay, Randy. But what are you calling about?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I'm one of the local neighborhood experts, and I was just curious if I can provide you a free CMA. Now, this is it's called a comparative market analysis. There's no obligation. It's strictly just to see what your home may be worth. Would you be open to get one of those over to you?
Oh, well, I did get many calls already offering me the same thing. They even wanted to stop by and take a look at
Yeah,
the house.
I'd like to stop
We're
by
not
too.
interested.
Yeah, I'd like to sit in
Mm.
your living room and just talk to you for a little bit, possibly about
Oh,
your.
I wish I had the time, Randy, but right now with a house full of kids and a lot going on in the home for the holidays, it's really hard to do.
Okay, well, could I get your email and some of your personal information? Maybe just send you over a free report?
I'm not sure about that. I get a lot of junk mail and it's already hard enough going through everything and deleting and keeping it clean.
Okay, no, I understand. So do you mind if I stay in touch maybe gently every 3 months or so, just to let you know what's going on in the neighborhood and things like that?
You can, I don't mind that. You can send
Okay,
something.
all right, she's nice, right? So pause. That sound typical?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should be shaking their head. That sounds typical in my opinion.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right? Thousands of calls we've measured. That sounds typical. They didn't ask you to call. You could be as nice as can be, but they didn't ask for anything. They didn't want anything. They would have called you if they did, right?
Right.
So now listen to the difference and it's strictly just a tactic and a little different language. So now I'm preparing a CMA first on that listing that's in that neighborhood. So I could talk with integrity, right? And we're going to do it with the DD once again. And I'm going to try to get you to say no to what I want. I mean, don't, if your body's telling you say yes, say yes. But my point is you don't have to just roll over just because I asked you a great question. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm ready.
So now I've got a little data, I've got a little information, and I'm talking in integrity, right? So ring ring. Hey, good morning. Is this Dee Dee?
It is.
Hey, Dee Dee, Randy Byrd. A little bit of a cold call, but I have something that might be of value to you. I'm a real estate broker here locally with ABC Realty. I've been in the business about 18 years, and we recently did a CMA on your neighbor's house. Now, a CMA is considered a comparable market analysis, like a mini appraisal. And as a standard practice, Dee Dee, we used your house as part of the CMA. And I'm just
Oh,
curious. I know you didn't ask for it and I called you out of the blue, but would you like a copy of this CMA or would you like just to have me throw it in the trash?
oh yeah, I would like a copy. I would like to know what my home is valued at this point.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll send it over. It's already done, so it's really no problem at all. What's the best email for you?
Is there any promises, or am I gonna be stuck with something and the strings attached if I
No,
say
it's
yes?
no,
Oh,
it's just an email. I'm going to send you a report. It's about 44 pages, beautiful photos, all the listings in the neighborhood, and it's got a rough value of what your home is worth.
okay. I don't mind that.
What's your email?
Here's it's la 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 la.
Okay. All right. And what's the best cell phone? Just to make sure if you get it, we could reach and talk to each other if you have any questions.
Okay, that would be good, but is there a number for you that I can call you instead if I have any questions?
100%. You have a pen?
Yes, I do.
Okay. 541
Mm-hmm.
570
Mm-hmm.
5777. And what's your number? Just so when I see it come through, I can put your name on it.
Okay, it's 201
Mm-hmm.
951 6538.
Okay. You see how that transitioned? Because reciprocity, right? So
Mhm.
now, hey, listen, Dee Dee, I'm going to send this over as promised. There's no obligation to anything, but would you mind if I called tomorrow and just checked in to make sure, number one, you got the report, answer any questions? There's a lot of data there, but you're going to be really impressed with it. Would that be okay?
Yes, that would
Okay,
be
awesome.
okay.
So one question before I go. I'm going to fine tune this a little bit now that we've chatted. Any upgrades in the last 2 years? Now, pause. I'd take her through this little bit of information to find more about this particular property, right?
Mhm.
Now, if I don't want to do a 20 or 30-minute CMA, I could do a cloud CMA in 2 to 3 minutes. I've proven this over and over live. I could do a full CMA in 3 minutes with cloud CMA. There's other programs as well. I'm not promoting cloud CMA, but don't tell me you don't have the time to do this, because if you're not doing this for 2 hours a day, then you have time, right? But you hear the difference in the script. Dee Dee, what did it feel like to you, more importantly?
I liked it because I didn't feel like I was being sold or anything. It was more conversational
Yeah.
and more about helping me know more about my home
Yep.
as
And the
opposed
psyche
to
behind this, I've already done it. Do you want me to send it to you or do you want me to throw it away? And I'm unattached even in my language,
That's a great line.
right? Because
yeah.
I'm unattached. I've already done it. But if you say, can I do something for you? They didn't ask for it. They're going to put their hands up every time. It doesn't even matter if you're at the mall. Can I give you a free coupon? You're walking in the mall anyway. And you're like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. Leave. My hands are crossed. Don't touch me. That's just nature of people now. But if you say it in a place of like servitude and unattachment, I'm telling you, this is magical. We went from 1 out of 20 sellers would say, yes, I'd like to see maybe what you have, to 8 out of 20. That's a huge number of increase. I mean, we're getting into the 50% category when we went through all of our coaching clients and did this little test years ago. That was just a
Yay.
complete eye opener for me. So in my mind, the greatest opportunity, the deepest well is unsolicited CMAs because it's endless. If you did this 2 hours a day, I absolutely promise you that if you talk to people, you're going to get a listing about probably, I'd say 10% of the top people that you actually go through the process of this, you can see a listing at least within a cycle of 90 or 180 days, whenever they're ready, right? But more importantly, you're putting them into your database. You're having communication. You're adding value to them. All these things are valuable. So think about if you just focused on 3 to 5 CMAs a day from making, 20, 30, 40 phone calls.
Wow.
That's
I
a
like
that's a
that.
game changer. So
Thank you
now
for that.
you're welcome. So back to business intelligence, because this is really important. When I speak of business intelligence, it's coming from I've been out of production for years now, but I know my numbers where I live because I look at the MLS every day. They've made it simple. There's a hot sheet, right? How many new listings, how many solds, how many closed, ratios of that can be formulated very easy. You have to become the expert. As much as there's going on in the real estate space now in production, you have to become the expert. It's very noisy. There's everything from Zillow to homes.com, and they're all buying for your information and your stuff. Everybody's moving to cloud-based, blessing to EXP and other companies. But the reality is the technology is there, the information's there already for them. We have to become the expert that's above that information they have. Right? They could already look at the listing at 123 Banana Street and tell you everything about it, probably as much as you know, because it's on Zillow. It's simulated, or it's removed information from the MLS. So it's the same information you have minus the private notes. All these companies have it. What sets you apart? Your business intelligence. How many marketable listings are there? What's the problems with them? How many pendings? How many closed? How many expired? How many withdrawn? How many back on market? What's the average sales price?
Mhm.
Right? So from an educated position, I'm making these numbers up, but it would sound something like this. Hey, in Corvallis, Oregon, where I'm at, we currently, and it's a couple MLSs, but in our particular geographical area here, we have about 1,187 listings. I said exactly the number, but I said about 1,187 listings. Out of that, we have 487 pendings, which is about 40%. And out of those, we're closing about 233 per month. So right now, our saturation, we call it, which is how long it would take to sell every home in the market, is about 4 months, which is a little higher than it's been in a while. We were down to like 1 month of inventory saturation back in COVID. Now we're at 4 months and it's climbing. We're getting more inventory as the market's lightening up a little bit. Rates are getting better. We're starting to see sellers be a little more willing to part ways because the sellers were locked up. They couldn't sell their house here because they couldn't buy the next house at 7 or 8%.
Mhm.
Right? So we had this locked up market. It's freeing up a little bit more now. My expectation, my crystal ball of this is that we'll see this continued inventory increase slowly but gently, but appreciation is following it very nicely. Right? So we're still seeing appreciation. We're still seeing low inventory. It's kind of a balanced market between sellers and buyers right now. Right? That's a different information that they get from Zillow.
Right.
And now if you really want to take this up a notch, now become the digital president of your area, wrap your arms around that Edgewood or that Silver Oak or whatever it is. And don't try to be everything to everybody. Focus on an area, start with 500 homes minimum, because you need to have the numbers that I'm going to give you. 500 homes minimum, average turnover of 6% in those 500 homes. That means 30 homes every year will sell out of those 500. That's a statistic, right? So you want to find turnover ratio at title. They can find that out in a click of a button, 5.6, 2.5, whatever it is. So 500 homes, 6% turnover, a minimum of twice a month frequency of delivery. That could be a door knock. That could be a flyer. It could be a drop on the doorknob with a rubber band. It could be a phone call. It could be an email. It could be a Facebook page. It could be any touch, but you want to touch them twice a month for at least a year, and then you could back it off a little bit. But for right now, I want you to think in the terms of touching them twice a month. That's why we'd start at 500. Because if you go, I got 5,000 homes in my subdivision,
Do it.
you won't be able to do it. Right now, you could go sweat equity or check equity. Sweat equity is paid postcards. Right, this is one of my postcards.
Mhm.
Paid by the lender, 50% on the back. That's a beautiful big jumbo postcard, right? I got a pile of them here. So there's just lots of options with that, right? NAR update, all these things. Not trying to impress you. I'm saying that that is check equity. If you have the money, you could do check equity and that expands it, but you're limited by the money. If you don't have any money, you could still do this starting with 500 homes and doing sweat equity, which is door knocking, which is a coat drive, which is dropping off hand CMAs to every one of the 500 and just take over that subdivision. I don't care if there's another agent in there or not. It won't matter. You'll dominate them.
Randy, thank you for saying that. And I know you said you were going to do 7 habits. It's 9:58. a lot of agents I hear, oh, there's somebody else in the market. I got into real estate in 1984. I wanted to farm a market. Everybody said I was crazy because Joyce was the queen on that. Well, what people didn't really know is that people didn't like Joyce. And I brought a different personality to it. And so you never know what's going on. Don't be afraid of competition because they're not doing what you're talking about here.
Yeah,
So
100%. I appreciate you bringing that up. So it's 7-figure habits, 5 of them.
7-figure habits.
7-figure habits, there's 5 of them. So I went over the 5. I'm going to highlight them one more time. Number 1, play offense. Number 2, play financial defense. Number 3, business is just math. Number 4, IPA, income producing activity. Get it on your calendar. And number 5, business intelligence. And then I gave you a little bit of a opportunity for a lead generation, which is unsolicited CMAs. I think they're the absolute best personally. I still teach them to this day. It's the best way to get listings.
Love it. How much time are you a hard stop at?
No, I'm good for a couple minutes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? And my first question is, when can we get them back? Because this is, but anyways.
When you move your call to 11 a.m. Eastern, no.
Hey, Randy, when I'm in my home in California, I'm up doing this at 6 a.m. So, and I know you're always up. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm up.
Who's got questions real quick? Seriously?
I do, Peggy, about cloud CMA. How can we use that? How do we go about getting that?
So
How does
number
it
1,
work?
EXP doesn't supply it. But number 2, the MLSs usually do. Now, not every MLS is the same, but check with your MLS first because a lot of times they have an affiliate with Cloud CMA that's free. My MLS did, and then they took it away, and now another one's got it. So look at that first. But if not, you could buy Cloud CMA. Just Google cloudcma.com. And it's owned by I forget the company name, but it's a great tool. I think it's less than 50, but it might be $24 a month, something like that. And you can do CMAs like this. Now, there's a lot of tools out there, including the XP, including the MLS to do CMAs. It's up to you. But I need something at 3 minutes. For my system, I need something quick, right? So if you're quick at yours, use yours.
And I say to everybody, go through your subscriptions, get rid of a couple of things you don't even know you're paying for, and you'll be able to do this. JC, did you have a question?
I did. On the unsolicited CMAs, it's amazing. So I used to do this 10 years ago, and that's shiny object, you know that story.
Yeah.
And I've been getting back into it. And I'm in the weeds about doing cloud CMA when I'm sending it or dropping it off. It's kind of long.
Yeah, so there's no right answer. Go where the seller goes, right? Now, if you asked me to drop it off, Peggy, I can't do that. I am a busy guy coming all the way over to drop it off. Unless you're ready to list, then we can have that. We have to have a meeting to do that. But if you're just looking for a rough value, email's the best because it's got 44 pages of pictures and your neighbors' homes, and you'll love it. What's the best email for you, right?
Perfect. Monica, you got your hand up. I think Monica Code. Let's see.
Sorry, I was talking, didn't realize it still was on mute. Good morning. I was just wanting to know the feedback on RPR for CMAs. Like,
For
what is
RPR, what's
anybody's
RPR?
thoughts? Anybody can answer this.
What's
Realtor
RPR? It's
property
only 6 in the
resource.
morning.
Realtors property resources that's provided by when you're a realtor, it just comes with that.
Yeah,
As
I'm not
being a
familiar
realtor.
with that particular one, but it's probably an MLS supplied CMA, which is normal. All MLSs have some kind of CMA program, but I just like something that's simple. If you could do that in 3-4 minutes, stay with it.
Perfect. So a couple of big takeaways. A lot of this we already know, Randy.
Yeah.
We already know it, but it's a great reminder that we have to do it.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing, I got a question the other day. What's the difference between motivation and inspiration? And I just quickly would love to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, it's the difference between perspiration and inspiration as well, right? So, when we look at motivation or trying to get people into activity, it's difficult a lot of times because everybody's a little different. Usually people are motivated by fear or towards pleasure, right? So towards loss or fear or failure or towards pleasure. Everybody's a little different. I personally am more motivated by fear. When I see my numbers are off, or when I see somebody pass me, I'm very competitive. Anything like that, I'm motivated by that more than I am winning, more than I am of a trophy, right? So I know that for me. So I need a coach that's going to remind me that I'm better than that I'm losing to somebody because I'm not putting in the time. That motivates me. That inspires me. That moves me personally. Now, you might be the other way around. You might be like, I don't want the negative. I just want to focus on the good. I want to have my dream board and vision board. And I have all that, by the way. It's on my phone. My vision board's on my phone. So every time I open my phone, I see my vision of what I want. Right? That's new. I just did it this week with Paul Harvey did it. So it's up, to me. There's a whole bunch of funny coined phrases about inspiration, motivation, all this stuff. It's just like, just effing do it.
Do it.
Just do it. You say you're going to do it. Just do it. Right? Just get the shit out of the way and just do it. You know what you need to do. You're likely just need some accountability to it. So do big, hairy, scary, audacious things for your accountability to do it. Find somebody that scares you. Call Peggy and say, hey, for the next week, I want to text you every day by 10 a.m. to tell you I've done my work. And if I don't text you by 10 a.m., I'm going to write a check to my ex-wife for $500 or my ex-husband or for $500 or the school that I hate or something, right? Some way to motivate you. And I've literally had my clients write me $1,000 check. It's on the wall, and I show it to them every time we get on a coaching call. I go, that check is going to your ex-wife if you don't do what you said you're going to do this week. It's just 1 week of your life. You need to do it, or I'm sending that. And I've sent a couple of them, and they're not fun because it says, I was just thinking of you. You deserve this. Send them $1,000 with somebody you really don't want to send it to. So that's an
That's great.
example. We don't want to go there, right? We want to find a way to make it fun and to get into a place of knowing that it's helping your vision. It may be a picture of your family. It may be a picture of your dream house or boat. It may be a picture of a beach. It could be anything, but find something that's going to hold you accountable to that.
Love it.
And lastly, Peggy, I put in the trackboss.com. It's just my agent attraction group. This is not an agent attraction call, but that's one of the coaching programs I run. If they want to get a hold of me, all my stuff is there. And again, I'm just calling you with a CMA. I'm just saying I've already prepared it. If you want to look at it, it's okay. If you don't, it's okay as well.
We love it. Well, what did I tell you guys? Did I tell you it was going to bring the energy to the call this morning? We love it.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Randy, so much. Are you going to
My pleasure.
Cabo?
Of course.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, winners go to big events.
well, winners go to big events, and we do Wake Up Wednesday live at Cabo.
I love it. I love it. I will not be there. I promise you.
But wait, in Cabo, I think it's at 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is. It's a little better. I can deal with that. No, I'm an early bird. But Peggy, thank you for having me. You're a great leader, a great human being, and I just really, really appreciate you. And I come to work whenever you ask me, so I'm here for you.
Thank you. We love you.
All right, you guys. Love you
Great
too.
day,
Have a
guys.
great day. Crush
Thank
the day.
you.
It's
This
Wednesday.
was great. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You bet. Thank you much. Talk to you.
Bye.
Thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome. Thanks for I knew I could call on you.
I hope I did a good job. He was great. He's a lot of fun.
He is good. He's really, really, really good. I was super excited to have him. And next week I have Phil Stringer on for AI. So super psyched about that. The following week I have Beth Silverman on.
Oh my gosh.
We got some
So
good stuff.
we better wake up on Wednesday. We
better-
can hear, right?
Wednesday. All right.
Bye, Peggy. Thank
later.
you so much again. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, Evelyn.